Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we'll be looking at a Range Rover Velar with the Inline Six. This might be the affordable Range Rover sweet spot. We'll find that out. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Land Rover here in Lehigh for giving me some time with this Velar. I'll include a link to the website in the description down below. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Jordan. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Powering this is a turbocharged 3-liter inline 6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 25 on the highway, with power outputs being 395 horsepower and then 406 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you're into some more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see the little accent pieces there on either side. And then popping down below, I really like the headlight design on the Velar. I feel like this was the start for Range Rover's kind of new styling they have on the Sport and the full size too. It's cool with the accent pieces down below. And overall, when you look at it, it looks like a Range Rover, because it is. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 265 by 40 by 22 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see here with the wheels completely blacked out, and then I love the cut there in the fender, and then you guys can see here with the blacked out trim piece, got the pop out door handles as well, and there's the side profile. Here's a quick look at the key fob. We have our lock and unlock function, the opening for the hatch, that's for the lights, Land Rover there in the back, and we'll pop her open. Now popping into the rear, we've got a cargo cover built in from the factory. This is pretty cool with a little Land Rover storage bin, but yeah, I mean, overall, it's not massive. It's a little bit smaller than the Sport, obviously, but it's a pretty dang practical SUV, I'd say. When you're all done, just press that and I'll lower the hatch right back down. Really cool taillight design here. Almost has like a 3D-ish look to it. Range Rover there, Velar down below, and that's the rest of the rear. Now, taking a look at the door panel on the back, you can see nice soft touch trim throughout, even down below as well, and this is cool with the handle design, and then pretty fancy seats too. Quickly pop in. Wow, legroom, yeah, it's pretty good. Got a little storage pocket. We've got our own climate zone here in the back as well. Got some vents in the rear too, and then headroom back here does slope a little bit, but it's still pretty solid. Now take a look at the front door panel. You can see again with the soft touch trim throughout, and then we've got all of our window controls here. We do have our memory seat function, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and here's the front seat, and pretty cool style adjustments there on the side. You can see with this trim here on the dash, and that continues all across. Now take a look at the steering wheel. You've got nice soft touch trim all around. Even the airbag cover has fancy stitching. Paddle shifters on the back. We've got stuff like adaptive cruise control, heated steering wheel, voice command controls for the center in general. And then traditional stalks here on the back. We've got this full digital gauge cluster in the center. You can change how the info panel, or what shows in the info panel, also the display layout, all of that is pretty customizable overall, which is a nice feature. 360 camera system. And it does fill in underneath the vehicle, and you have an on-road and off-road view, which is always a cool feature. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, quick response time with this, which is a nice feature. And the other thing that I'll say that's cool is the little 4x4 information. So it shows you the altitude, the differentials locked, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, I think that's pretty neat overall. But yeah, easy enough to use. And by the way, pretty much everything's in the infotainment system now, so like the heated cooled seats, the climate controls, all of that, it's all in here. And then we of course have a little bit of storage here, nice trim, got the shifter, got some cup holders, and then some more storage. I like this on top, same thing with the dash. Pretty normal glove box. Just regular rear view mirror, and then we do have a panoramic sunroof up top. Now taking a look at the window sticker here, 2025 Velar Dynamic SE. After all options, the sticker's for $83,240. and let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before I set off. Just visibility of the hood, put the mirrors, turn out the rest of the rear, and let us set off in the Velar. This is an interesting car, and I think that it shows how interesting Land Rover's current lineup is. I'm trying to get the fan speed to go down so it's not so noisy. But yeah, the Land Rover's current lineup is very interesting in my personal opinion, because I mean, here's how it is. You've got the Velar, you've got the Defender, you've got the Range Rover Sport, you've got the Discovery, you've got the full size. And so it's this interesting situation. Okay, it's this interesting situation where obviously all SUVs, but you know, other brands have done that in the past too. But there's a lot of like crossover with pricing. So like this is 83, you know, this is right there with a lot of the, you know, Defender Inline Six packages are right in this price range. And then, you know, you look at a Sport, and a Sport's like a little bit more, but like 10 grand more maybe. So you've got almost price carryover there into the Sport realm. Full size, yeah, you're not touching that. That's gonna be more money. And then the Discovery, the regular one, not the Disco Sport, but the big Discovery, that also, you know, has some packages in this price range. So it's like, I think I could see how it'd be confusing on the outside if someone was looking at a new Land Rover, because they'd be pulled in so many different directions. If they're, you know, looking at, hey, my budget's about 80 grand and I want a new Land Rover, all over the place. So where does the Velar sit? I think that this is really, I mean, it's got the Range Rover badge. It's not, you know, like Land Rover Defender, right? Or Land Rover Discovery, right? Those kind of, you know, the names kind of let you know what those are all about. This is basically running a red light. This is basically a Sport, but more affordable, right? You got the same powertrain as what you have in the entry-level Sport. You've got very similar styling in a smaller SUV that's, again, less money, brand new, and very similar interior layout now that they've thrown everything into the screen here. So it's, yeah, it's very Sport-esque, I guess is the way that I would put it. And it drives well. It really does drive well. I don't think this has, yeah, no air suspension. I'm not seeing that. So that is a big difference. You know, most of the Sports will have no equipment with air suspension from what I've seen, you know, that's actually on dealer lots. So you don't have that same floaty feel that you get in a Sport, so there is that difference. But it drives well overall. Land Rover does a really good job with their tuning on the damping and all of that. It's a comfortable ride. It's a nice ride. Steering's good too. Just an easy car to drive. So I guess if you wanted the Range Rover style, but you didn't want to pay the big Sport price tag or the big full-size price tag, then that's what the Velar offers. And it's not like you know, sometimes manufacturers make like a more affordable car and it's just junk. That's not the case with this. This has the same powertrain as the entry-level Sport. If you get it with this, you can get this with a 2-liter as well, but the Inline 6 version of this, same powertrain as the Sport and the full-size entry-level. And the interior is really nice, so I don't know. I don't feel like it's a cheap knockoff version like what some manufacturers do. Like, you know, Jeep with the Compass and with the Grand Cherokee. The Compass feels kind of just like a cheap knockoff, crappy Grand Cherokee. Let me know your thoughts on this, and let me know what you think about the whole pricing thing with Range Rover, or Land Rover rather. Do you think it's kind of confusing where they have so many cars in that $80,000 price range, where it's like, which route do you go?